walkthrough of the Yezdi Adventure and the Yamaha RXZ Scrambler. I thought it would be interesting to see these two legends meet again after 25 years apart. The Yezdi has the technology 25 years ahead of the Yamaha. The Yamaha, with its screaming two-stroke engine and a lightweight, almost half the weight of Yezdi, makes a riding experience something that you will not be able to match in today's motorcycles. The Yezdi Scrambler has a flat torque curve, which means any gear, any speed, the acceleration will almost be the same. On the other hand, the Yamaha has an engine which produces power in the mid and top end of its power bands. Again, these two-stroke engines can be tuned as per your preference by any old school mechanic. This is a preference that I've had in my RXZ. I know RXZs that have massive low-end torque, especially the ones tuned for rallies. The suspension and brake pads used on this Yamaha is of the first generation Pulsar 150s. The disc brake is of the Honda Unicorn. The rear suspension is of the TVS Phoenix, and the rear brake is a conventional drum. It is safe to say that the Yezdi's off-road centric suspension layout is far superior. We got to also consider the fact her stopping power is far superior as opposed to my Yamaha's. Her 320mm front and 240mm disc brakes in the rear with ABS is no match for my 200mm disc in front and rear drum of the Yamaha. But you got to understand, Yamaha has one ace up its sleeve, its weight. The Yezdi with the 182 kgs will be felt if you take her off-roading. While the Yamaha literally feels as light as a cycle when I have taken her off-roading. You just don't feel tired when you have such a slim bike between your legs. My Yamaha weighs only 115 kgs. My personal favorite point of these Yamahas are the exhaust. You just cannot get a better exhaust note than of a Yamaha 2-stroke. The RXZ wins hands down in the exhaust note category. The round digital speedometer of the Yezdi looks amazing and appropriate for 2022 standards, as the fully analog speedo of the RXZ is actually the speedo of the Yamaha Enticer. I have specifically also gone with rims of the Hero Honda CBZ, as I felt they were far more heavy, sturdy rims as opposed to the stock Yamaha RX series. While the Yezdi uses a 140 by 17 inch rear tire, the Yamaha uses a 100 by 80. And let me add, both my tires are approximately 7 years old. Now with reference to power, my original RXZ 4-speed produced 12 horsepower and 10 Nm of torque. Yes, there's nothing stock about this bike. I've converted the gearbox into a 5-speed. The piston configuration, even though it's still the 4-speed configuration, it's a oversized piston. There is a free flow air intake. The exhaust has been modified to a certain extent. Obviously, I had a proper calculated free flow exhaust, but because of the restrictions, I've modified the exhaust as legally as possible from my end. With all the power the Yamaha produces, when you're sitting single seat on the Yamaha, yes, it does feel extremely fast because again, it's an extremely light machine as well. But when a pillion sits, yes, you do feel there is a lag of power, and I'm mentioning a lag of power as compared to modern bikes like the Yezdi Scrambler. The Yezdi Scrambler stock form itself comes with a 29.1 horsepower and 28.2 Nm of torque. The good things that the Yezdi engineers have done is they've not just placed an engine in 3 different machines, the Cruiser, the Scrambler and the Adventure. They've completely retuned it as per their specification, as per the character of the machine. This machine has a flat torque curve, as I mentioned before, so it's just constant power wherever you require. And again, you cannot compare a bike that was manufactured in 1997 as opposed to a bike in 2022. There will obviously be upgrades. So in the engine department, obviously the Yezdi Scrambler beats the Yamaha. But seeing that these Yamaha engines can be tuned for drag racing, where forget about the Yezdi, they'll outbeat a Ninja 600 as well. I've seen such videos. So these engines are very tunable. So but in my stock, my existing form, where I do use it for everyday purpose as well, it has been modified to such an extent that I have to service it once a year and not once every 2 to 3 months. So this is the last part of the review. I think I've covered absolutely everything. Two bikes that should not have been reviewed in the beginning, but since I had it and I thought, you know what, why not? So if you do like such unconventional videos, and yes, my channel heavily emphasizes on restoration modification projects as well, then please do subscribe, and I look forward for seeing you again. Thank you.